Hi, good morning, students and friends. Here in this question, I will only read and I have marked out some difficult words which I will explain in the explanation video. And the purpose of making this video for the audible purpose, I read, you can listen it several times, and by listening process, it will uh, and extend your cognitive skill, and you will be able to memorize it in a very well condition. Okay, so let's read now. What is the question at first? Question is, select a unit topic in your subject and construct having 10 items on the basis of above mentioned steps. It was asked in December 2010. Or select a unit topic in your subject at secondary level and construct criterion reference test having 15 items on the basis of prescribed steps for it. Mention each step while constructing the criterion reference test. It was asked in June 2009. Answer. There are varieties of criterion reference tests, and due to confusion in the nature and scope of such tests, it is quite difficult to provide clear-cut guidelines for their construction. However, keeping in view the basic tenets of criterion reference tests, the following steps can be suggested. Some of these steps may be combined while others can be split up into 2 or more steps. Nevertheless, the steps given below seem quite appropriate. Identification of subject area. The first step in the development of criterion reference test is the decision about the subject matter area to be worked out. For example, one may take up mathematics, English, environmental studies, etc. Depending upon the need of the area and the resources one can utilize for one or more subject areas. Selection of unit topic. After the decision taken about the area, the next step is to select the unit on which the test is to be developed. This unit may have more than one module, sections, domains which comprise the total unit. Depending upon the need, one or more than one sections or chunks of content may be taken up for test construction. Now it is the misprint here, so I read from here. Description of domain of testing. Since domain refers to a particular segment of the content, one may examine the topic and delineate it into various segments. I think it is delineate it into various segments which can segment of content. One may examine the topic and delineate it into various segments which can be developed into well-defined separate subdomains. Each subdomain can then be analyzed in terms of facts, concepts, principles, processes, etc. that may be arranged in order of their increasing complexity. Description of subdomain is very important as it provides the basis for item writing. It should reflect clearly the nature and scope of the content, specifications in sequential, hierarchical, or development order. Specifications of domain objective. Having decided about content elements of a domain selected, the next task is to formulate the instructional objectives on the expected learning outcomes, which may be categorized in terms of knowledge, understanding, application, skills, attitudes, etc. These objectives should be stated so precisely that the performance of students is clearly interpretable in terms of adequacies or inadequacies of intended learning outcomes. For more clarification, sample prototype items can be framed that may accompany each specific objective. External review of step C and D. The tasks identified in steps C and D should be reviewed by those who are not involved in identifying the domain and its description in terms of content elements and the specific objectives. However, a teacher who teaches that particular subject may also be involved in this task so that he/she may be able to clarify doubts if any, raised by the external reviewers. The main purpose of this review is to sharpen domain description and the specific objectives in order to make them more realistic and functional. For this, sample items accompanying the specific objectives are checked for their congruence with each objective and content elements. Internal review. After a step, the internal reviewers, that is, the constructor himself or herself, will examine all specific objectives along with one or more sample items which accompany each specific objective. The focus of this review is on sharpening the specific objectives further if necessary. Construction of test form A and B. It is desirable to develop into forms of the test A and B so that one of the two could be used after post-instructional remedial niches. Moreover, it would be easier to compute reliability on the two forms. A copy of the key or the correct answer should accompany the test and may be retained by the developer. As far as the construction of items is concerned, these items are to be developed in accordance with the domain description. This is, however, not always possible or practical, especially in teacher-made tests. Therefore, in teacher-made tests, only one test form will do. Internal review of steps. An internal review by the teacher is essential. The tests are ready, that is, after step G. The purpose of this review is to whether all questions is the, I think it is misprint tests, but it is dates, are congruent with the specific objectives, besides having cursory check for any glaring deficiencies in the test, that is, placement of key, arrangement of item, sufficiency of instructions, etc. It is at this stage that items can be further improved and the congruence of items with the specific objectives is ensured. External review of the test. Prior to the field trial, the test may be re-examined by the practicing teachers. The main purpose is to detect content flaws, if any, and check for congruence of items with the domain description. This should be done preferably by those people who do external review for step C and D as mentioned under step C. Field trial of the test. At this stage, other tests may be tried out on a limited number of students, say 5 to 10, to get a fix on the element in the instruction which might be proved drastically wrong. It is better that the subject teachers, other than those involved in development of the test, administer these tests. However, one team member of the developers may accompany them in order to meet queries, if any, relating to the content of procedure that might arise during tryout of the test. This is possible only if the member who is conversant with the development of the test is associated in the field tryout. Internal review. After step 1, internal review would provide a last look at the test, which would depend on the changes, if any, that have been made as a result of the review or the field tryout. The purpose of this review is to certify the final format of the test and pass it for print or use. Final form of the tests. Now the final form of the tests is ready for use and may be administered after having it published or cyclo-styled. Depending upon the size of the group to which this test is to be given, a sign-off sheet may be used to accompany the various tests as they move from step A to L. Each test may be kept in a folder to which the signed sheet may be attached. This enables the developer to keep track of the given test. To monitor the progress of the test as it goes through the various stages of development, a master progress sheet can be used. Using the test in a classroom. Test copies can now be used in the classroom. The test can be administered to test the domains which are covered by the test. The domains being tested can be arranged according to the needs of the teacher and administered accordingly. A student's responses may be recorded and tabulated in accordance with the scheme of analysis, which has to be mostly in terms of specified domain objectives. Finding validity and reliability of the test. Since the data are now available on the test, we may find out the reliability and validity of the test using various techniques. First, on the basis of the steps of constructing criteria reference tests, first we have to pick a subject. Now let us assume we have chosen computers as a subject to be taught in secondary education. Second, now the second step is to select a unit topic, assumingly MS Office 2010. Third, now we can delineate topic, MS Word, MS Excel, MS PowerPoint, MS Outlook, etc. Fourth, now we have to design instructional objectives on this topic, categorized on the basis of application, knowledge, understanding, skills, attitudes, etc. 5. Now after being examined by the external reviewer, internal review is required, that is, we being the constructor will examine all specific objectives along with one or more sample items which accompany each specific objective. 6. Now the next step is to externally review the above two steps, and computer expert may be applied for this purpose. 7. Next two forms A and B along with a copy of answer key have to be developed. 8. Now the questions so formulated in questionnaire have to be evaluated, that whether they are in accordance with the objectives specified, like if we practically want to test the skills of a student about the use and application of internet, we have to design the questions in such a way so as to meet with the specific requirement of the test. Suppose we have delineated the test item of MS Office into various MS Office packages. We have identified 15 items such as geographical user interface, file menu, edit menu, view menu, help menu, tools menu, formula bar of MS Excel, charts and graphs in MS Excel, animation in PowerPoint, mail settings in MS Outlook, ribbon in MS Office application, shortcut menu, how to send and receive email using Outlook, saving and saving as, print setup and print preview of MS Office applications. On the basis of these themes, suppose we have designed an MCQ, multiple choice question bank. For example, which of the following is not valid version of MS Office? What is the shortcut key to open the open dialog box? The answer of first MCQ is B, that is Office Vista, and second question is D, that is CTRL plus F12. First is B because Vista is an operating system and not an application of MS Office, and other is D, which can be practically verified. Then again, the form has to be checked externally to detect content flaws, if any. The form thus generated may be tried on field testing a small batch of children, say 5 or 10. Then the necessary amendments be made by the constructor of test if required. Then the test is published and placed in folder along with a signed sheet. Later on, the test can be used in the classroom and validity and reliability of a test is found out. So with this, now reading is over. In the next video I will explain it. By then, take care. Thank you.